Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do continue, let's give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. We had Izuku. Izuku knew he was on a timer. He was bit by a Kyoka Jiro, who was turning into a zombie. Kyoka was skipping earlier stages of the infection, and somehow, Deku, he knew he was going to die. Yoichi confirmed it whenever he appeared to Izuku and talked to him. Deku, he went to the military and tried to get things done fast. The hive is in the middle of the city. The military knew about zombies and kept them hidden. They have a plan, but clearly it's dangerous, crazy, and more than likely, suicidal. It's a one-way trip. And Deku, whenever he confronted the commander about this, he confirmed it. However, Izuku, he also got to see the doctor again. And whenever he saw her, he put a bullet right between her eyes. And Deku, he dropped the gun and smiled. He got to kill the crazy bitch. And he also informed the military. He's willing to comply because he's the only one they've got. Now, this meant quite a lot. 3 days passed. In total, Izuku, he lived like this for some time. The infection began to take a little bit more hold, and Izuku was having trouble clearing his thoughts. He was still okay, for now. However, he said his goodbyes, and then got in that truck. He drove it directly into the pit, drove it to the Red Tower, and got inside. However, there was a bit of an accident. Everybody heard the crumbling metal and the breaking windows. Everybody heard Izuku fire shots at an unknown infected, and then he yelled at it to attack him. He went down swinging. And whenever they tried to activate the bomb, it didn't go off. It didn't explode. A vehicle full of enough ordnance to take down a city block was now underground, and it was not exploding. Izuku, his story didn't end there, however. He encountered an infected. It threw him around, and while he tried to escape after having his back broken, he was thrown into the pit. And whenever he rose to the surface of that water, whenever he tried to climb out, something pulled him further underneath. And Izuku, that is the last we saw of him. Izuku Midoriya is presumed dead. Izuku Midoriya hasn't been seen since. His group knew he was dead. Some people didn't want to acknowledge it. He left a lot behind. He left behind friends, loved ones, and a child. Now, Deku, before he went, met Eri and Chizuki, and these two are at the manor. And currently, 3 months have passed. And Deku, it's still hard to believe. The fact that he's actually gone, it surprises him. That on Bakugo's mind, as currently he does sit there, writing in a notebook a few of his own thoughts. He was not too sure why Deku did this. He has a notebook that he wrote down a lot of things in. He would catalog the infection, catalog the world, I guess. He doesn't know. Setsuna hasn't given up the book. It's the only thing she has left of him. And Bakugo, he is trying to devise a bit of a plan. Currently, him flipping to the back pages and going to set down the paper in his hand. Him staring at a piece of paper, as currently there are a few things written down on it. Chizuki is a doctor. He's been with their group, and they have been handing out medical attention to other people. Things are good, and so far, so good. The military has become more cooperative. They still control the radio station, and because of that, it means a bit. He doesn't know if that military commander has respect for them, or if it's because of Izuku. The fact he took out the crazy doctor, the one that the guy didn't even trust. It could just be a coincidence. But in his mind, he doesn't want to believe that. He wants to believe that he's playing ball because he has to. They need to take the dam. It's not even that far away. It's the start of July. 2 weeks. He would have been 17. This passed through his mind. And Bakugo, he does his own stand. Currently, him walking out and into the manor. And right now, Bakugo has a lot going through his mind, as well as many others of the group. Him walking down the corridor before finding Kendo. And Kendo, we're gonna just stare at him. Currently, him making his way down the hall and towards the shop. As he is going to enter and see that Melissa and May are still working on a few things. Currently, him walking over and asking if they've made any progress. To which, the two of Bakugo just won't turn. Bakugo staring at a few things. Currently, May having pieces on her table, talking about how, her turning, she's still working on a lot. Though, they're trying to refabricate an engine. It's a bit ambitious, but they've got the tires, they've got the chassis, frame, and some metal. And if it works, then they'll have a motorcycle. I mean, they could find one in theory, but it wouldn't be as good. Sturdy, I guess? They need one that's built for proper speed. High speeds. Along with that, they want it to be able to pull. It's an idea. If I can pull a small cart, then it can also help with room. They've also built something for some of the vehicles. I mean, it's not as good as some of the other stuff that they've hauled, but hey, it'll work. It's also a bit strange. Currently, Melissa, turning and talking about it. Talking about how she does want to at least find out a few more things. Inspect this bunker more. If Dr. Chizuki came from one, he must have a power supply there. If they can take it, bring it over here, and find out more, they can probably refabricate it. There's also the plan for UA, you know? They need to at least look into that a bit more. See if it's still viable. There's been no information on Mina. But even though it's died down, they're not sure if it's her territory. They can't say for certain. And this does go through his mind. Him understanding and turning. Going to leave. Currently, him thinking. And while he currently is thinking, let's cut over to Setsuna. Setsuna does sit there. Her just wondering about a few things. She wants to figure this all out. Things haven't really been thought through. I guess being a reckless teenager, you don't think things through. Especially in the new world, I guess. What's gonna happen 6 months from now? Maybe 5. It'll be, what? The middle of winter? The end of winter? It's a concern. The ground shook. It shook hard. And it meant a bit. After Izuku's transmission cut, the ground shook. Whatever that means isn't good. she's scared. She doesn't want to admit it, doesn't want to say it, or speak about it. She wants to talk to Nedre, rely on her friend, but that just feels weird to talk about. They both knew about it, and one of them told Izuku, but at the same time, he didn't care. They don't blame the guy, I guess, but still, it just has them worried. And that currently is Nedre. We'll cut over to her. Her currently out scavenging and trying to do a few things. And right now, a lot does go through her mind. Currently, she is closer into the city. And she does have a few things she wants to talk about. She wants to talk to the group about probably taking on more responsibility, taking on more areas. They've made contact with other groups, found more of them, and have been able to avoid heading back through that tunnel to the crazy place. It just concerns her though. Currently, Nedre turning and looking up towards the water tower. And up there's one word painted she thought she'd never see again. One word that just shakes her a bit. Though she's not too sure if it's because the lights are back on or because of who she thinks it is. On top of that water tower is one word. Power. She wants to take a picture. Show Tamaki. Mirio Togata. Her friend might be alive. But if that's the case, why now? Where has he been? Who has he been with? Is he okay? Is he still alive? He was in the actual city that day it went to hell. He tried to help. It does have her concerned. And right now they will go to Express, trying to tell her that she does need to stay focused. If she loses it now, her nerves will get the better of her. Currently, her gonna turn and seeing Mr. Stain. Him walking forwards as he does have an area of his arm scarred over, along with the fact that one side of his face, it does have a massive scar on it, along with the fact that he is blind in one of his eyes. Him expressing to her that they need to keep moving. Fact is, if they don't find out more, things are going to be bad. Hell. If they can head further in and check it out, it would be good. Though, if these new variants are popping up, they need to know. You sure? Pretty damn sure, kid. Listen. That kid, he said that the infections, the zombies, they were getting weirder. That's less transmission his settlement really gave us. If it's what we think it is, it's not good. More people like Mina, that isn't good at all. If there's more zombies like her, what do you think that they can do? I don't want to know what they could do. I don't want to imagine it. I've seen what one can do. Take off its fucking head and it doesn't die. Freaks me the fuck out. So, how did you get out of there? I'd rather not talk about it. Sure. Currently them walking in a bit of silence. And Nedre, she looks around. The world has changed. It feels different again. Or is that because her world shifted a bit? She just wants to go back to the way things were. But there's this idea back in her mind. chasing after a ghost. uh, Mario was always a bit of a ghost. I mean, he had the power for it. Though, no, no. If you look correctly, then it's it's probably not associated with him. Some towers didn't get graffiti like that. Some buildings have those markers too. But they only started to appear after the power came back on. That's gotta be the reason. Don't be stupid, Nitray. Think about it rationally. It passed into her mind. Currently, her going to walk over to a building and look inside. Bring her hand up and going to tap her spear on the metal. Currently making a sound as it does vibrate. Her waiting to listen and seeing if anything pops out. And they're actually Stain, who doesn't stand there bringing up some of his own knives. Him ready. And right now, he does just want to do one thing. He whistles. And this is where some zombies do begin to funnel out. Currently Stain bringing his hand up and throwing out his knives at the ones further behind. And Nedre does have one approach her. Her bringing up the spear and stabbing one directly into the head, pulling it back, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. Currently them trying to clear out the small area. Because it should lead into another area. They need to go through the back alleys, go up, and then make sure they know where the space should be. It's an idea. Isolated. A group of people barricaded themselves and connected their own apartments. Smart. Though at the same time, concerning. If these people were barricaded inside and something happened, something got through their barricade. Something either big, tough, or mean, or something intelligent. Though, it could just be a spider. And this could be a, well, unexpected visitor. She'd like to believe that. Maybe believe that these people just evacuated and couldn't get back home. That on her mind. Her climbing the ladder and going to turn. Seeing the window that's busted open. And this, already enough, is not a good sign. Currently, Stain, looking around and going to step in. Him, going to try and inspect the area and make sure the lights work here. However, the power, it's still connected. And Stain, he does begin to look around the room, seeing that the TV is playing an old movie. And this, it does somewhat intrigue him. Him walking over and going to pause it. Currently, him turning to the remote and then pressing a button. And autoplay, it's still enabled. Currently, him turning the TV off and looking around. In this, it does somewhat worry him. The movie has been playing on loop for who knows how long, who knows how many times. And now, the apartment is silent as a mouse. It's worrying. They hear those little sounds, the ones that just catch your attention. Anytime the room would squeak or move, any little creak you could hear. And this place, it does have them worried. It's still stable. Is it still left able standing? Is the foundation right? These are questions Stain is asking himself. And Nedre does not sit there. Her holding up the crossbow, thinking about a few things. And right now, she does go to walk down the hallway and turn right. Currently, her staring at the room with a lot going through her head. Bring her hand up and pushing the door as far as she can. Currently, her carefully turning her body as she's going to do so. Her using her left arm to somewhat brace the crossbow as she does just rest it there. If she needs to, she can fire with her right hand and then push out with her hand using the crossbow. Use it as an object to keep the zombie away from her body. And currently, nothing's in the room. And they do continue to search, spreading out and not finding anybody here. Though they do find, well, supplies and even some knives. Just weapons. That's it. This place has been taken out. Them heading to the next apartment and finding a similar scene. Just empty. And they're actually in one of the third apartments. Currently, them heading into it as there's nothing here. Before, they do actually find a body. And this, it does have them worried. And this man, somebody strangled him to death. And this is not a good sign. If he was killed by somebody and they used their bare hands, that's got to be evidence of a crazy. So that tells them a few things. Currently, Nedre turning and standing up. His body is cold, and it looks like he's been dead for a few days, possibly a week. But, okay, that's not good. Her radioing in and trying to talk to somebody on the other end, expressing to them about what they have found. And currently the group, they're not too happy about that. They have found little groups, some that have stayed alive, and some who have just been able to group together because of the necessity of people. The need to be around them. Groups have gotten bigger. People have gotten stronger. And yet something, it's picking off the weaker groups. Picking off the ones who live in the city. And it's presumed to be the smart variant heading further out. But if that's the case, they need to be a bit more careful. Scavenging for supplies has become a lot more dangerous then, if that's the case. Who knows how many variants there could be? I mean, she saw a mammoth once, and that thing terrified her to high hell. It fucking charged through somebody. It just smushed through them like red paste, and ugh. There's a bit of bile in her mouth just thinking about it. She saw one just charge over a car. It crushed the other zombies in red paste. It cleared a path. But that has her concerned. That thing's made to attack. It can't be taken down very easily. She thought about throwing a Molotov at it once, seeing if it would burn. But knowing it would probably scream, say something in an unnaturally human voice. Some real uncanny valley shit. Yeah, she'd rather avoid that. Currently, her and Stain leaving. And they do head out. Currently, them beginning to part ways. Her getting back to the vehicle and just won't sit there for a minute. Currently, Nedre just not going to lean forwards and lean her head on the steering wheel, with a lot going through her mind. Before, she starts to cry. And after some time, she'll just won't try to fix herself. Just put herself back together and drive. Currently, her heading back to the manor. She got a few things. Some useful, some not. Stain took a few other things. And they parted ways. What are they going to do? Someone has to go down there and reactivate that bomb. But no one's willing. She thought about going, but honestly, she can't. It's. She doesn't know. How. She's not as brave as him. It is an idea. That's all. An idea that's crossed her mind before. but getting that far is an impossibility. Izuku was special. Was. And that, it does pass through her mind. Currently her getting back to the manor and beginning to unload a few things. As there is actually Bakugo, who does come walking out because he does need to have a few things planned out. And he wants Neji's opinion on a few of them. A few ideas they might need to enforce to keep the group a little bit safer. And even a few things they might need to build. He wants to find a truck. A big one. A better one. A sturdier one. And Neji does go to shoot back at him that maybe the military vehicle would have been a good option for this. And Bakugo, he does just not feel that. Yeah, maybe it could have been a better option. But right now, that's not what he's talking about. He wants to get a convoy formed. If they can bring in those supplies into the city, bring them to them, they can sway the majority of people, get them on their side, and then take out the military. It's only a matter of time. 2 months from now, winter is going to start. They'll have power, and they can literally bunker down. They won't need to go anywhere. It'll be simple. Easy. But the military might try to squeeze people more. They might try to be a bit more strict about power output and uses. They'll either raise the price of things, or they'll try to actually use more force. Go back that way. If that happens, he needs to know she can do what he asked. It's not going to be pretty, but what do you want? The military has somebody at the station. Whenever winter does begin, I need you to take them out. If they try and raise prices, if they try to at least give a statement on the radio, I need to know that they are taken out accordingly. I'd say even made an example of. So you want me to do your dirty work? No. I need you to do what you need to. The military think I'm a bit of a pushover. I'm sure they do. If we can keep up that illusion, it'd be good. I'm more than willing to do it. More than willing to be there. Be the one to pull the trigger. But I need you to be the face. Or, more accurately, the voice. If they think that you're acting on your own, or you're acting under my order, that'd be good. If they think I'm a pushover, they'll try and squeeze us for supplies. We can make an example. I'm willing to say a few things. They won't think I'm willing to do things. It's just an idea. Sure, Bakugo. Or, we're going to step forwards. Bring your finger out and putting it to his chest, telling him he can do it himself. He can step up. Be the actual leader Izuku said he should be. Be the type of person who doesn't take their shit. They already know the military group is falling apart. It's no secret. Everybody fucking knows it. So, push back more. That is what he would do. They need to stay alive. They need to keep their shit together. And they need him to be a capable leader. So be capable. We're going to turn the crossbow over her shoulder, and going to walk away. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.